Good morning, students. Today I will take up specifications for raw materials used in bakery. As you know that almost 60% of an individual's income goes to the purchase of food materials. And since the food materials which we consume, they have a direct effect on our health. If the raw materials they are of good quality, they will have good impact on the health. But if the raw ingredients they are not as per standard or they are adulterated, we should not consume those foods. And it is true with the bakery products also. We must be very cautious to produce quality products and present the same to the consumer in a very hygienic manner. The manufactured products of better quality, apart from baker's skill and the expert mind, we need good quality raw materials. Baker may be having very good skills in making the product, but if the material is not good, he is not going to give good products to the consumers, and it will affect his business. Therefore, the bakers are largely dependent upon the manufacturers of the raw materials. The government of India has also brought certain regulations on these raw materials. PFA, Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954, has given powers to the local health authorities to draw samples and analyze the same to take action in any case of discrepancies. As buyer of the raw materials, we must be aware of the quality we are purchasing so that we should get what we want to manufacture. We should get the products of the desired standards. The main materials, raw materials, which as a baker we require, they are maida, sugar, hydrogenated fat or butter, liquid glucose, salt, yeast, desiccated coconut, corn flour, milk powder, baking powder, cocoa powder, calcium propionate, etc. In India, these all raw materials are needed to meet the specifications laid by PFA 1954, and in specified cases these specifications have also been laid down by the Bureau of Indian Standards and FSSAI. If we take up maida, what is maida? It is also called as refined flour. That means fine product made by milling or grinding whole wheat and dressing the resulting wheat meal. The material shall be free flowing, it should be dry to touch, it should not pack when squeezed, it should be creamy in color, free from the bran particles, with a characteristic taste and smell, and it should be free from the extraneous material. These standards laid down by PFA indicate that the moisture content by percent by mass should be around 14.8% in the maida. Total ash on dry basis percent by mass maximum, it should be 1.0. Similarly, acid soluble ash percent by mass maximum should not exceed 0.1. Gluten on the dry basis percent by mass minimum it should be 7.5. Alcoholic acidity, that is in sulfuric acid in 90% alcohol percent by mass, should be 0.12. Granularity test, it should be to satisfy the test. Similarly, standards have also been given for the uric acid, rodent hairs and excreta. Wheat flour should be the product obtained by milling, by cleaning the hard or the soft wheat or their blends in a roller mill and bolting. Flour should be free flowing. It should be dry to touch. It shall not paste when squeezed. And the moisture content, total ash, acid soluble ash, gluten content, alcoholic acidity, granularity, uric acid. For all these parameters, standards have been given, and while purchasing maida, we should get the sample analyzed whether that sample meets the requirements or not. Similarly, sugar. Sugar is also a very important ingredient in baking. It is also known as cane sugar. Cane sugar is the crystallized sugar. It is obtained from sugar cane, beetroot, etc. It should not contain ash content more than 0.7%. Water should not be more than 1.5% in it. Sucrose not less than 96.5%. Vanaspati, hydrogenated fat. In most of the bakery products, margarine, hydrogenated fat, these are used. And vanaspati means any refined edible vegetable oil or oils subjected to a process of hydrogenation in any form. It should be prepared from the hydrogenation of vegetable oils, for example, groundnut oil, sesame oil, or their mixtures, or any other harmless vegetable oils. The hydrogenated fat should not contain any harmful coloring, flavoring, or any other matter which is deleterious to health. No color should be added to it. If any flavor is used, it should be distinct from ghee. It should not have moisture more than 0.25%. Melting point should be 31 to 37 centigrade. Butyrorefractometer reading at 40 degrees centigrade should not be less than 48. It should not have unsaponifiable matter exceeding 1.25%. It should not have free fatty acids like oleic acid exceeding 0.25%. The product, when it is melted, it should appear very clear in appearance. It should be free from staleness, rancidity, or any unpleasant taste and smell. It should contain raw or refined sesame oil not less than 5% by weight, but sufficient so that when vanaspati is mixed with refined groundnut oil in the proportion of 20:40. The color should be lighter than 2.0 red units in a 1 centimeter cell on a Lowy bland scale. It should be fortified with vitamin A, D, E and K. No antioxidant, synergist or emulsifier must be added. sodium chloride. It has different names. It is crystalline, solid, moisture not more than 6%, and water insoluble matter should not be more than 1% in it. Chloride content should be 96% by weight. Acid insoluble matter should not be there more than 1.5%. Then another ingredient which is very important in baking is baker's yeast. Baker's yeast is available in two forms. One is compressed form, another is dry form. It's also Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Compressed yeast, it is available in the form of block. It is creamy white in color and it has the characteristic odor of the yeast, has fine even texture. It should not be slimy, moldy. It should be free from starch. Adulteration should not break on blending. As far as dried yeast is concerned, it is available in the form of powder, small granules, pellets or flakes. It should also have odor of the good baker's yeast and should have fine even texture. Starch of any edible quality should not be there exceeding 10% by mass in the yeast. Then dough raising capacity of both the yeasts should be of good quality. They should have good fermentation power. Dispersibility in water should also be good. Dough raising capacity should be good, and bacterial flora other than yeast should not be more than 1.5 million per gram. The other ingredient is desiccated coconut. In most of the confectionery items, desiccated coconut is used. It is processed essentially from the fully mature fresh coconuts, and the coliform counts in the flour or coconut, desiccated coconut, it should not be more than 10 per gram. It should be free from salmonella. It should be crisp, sweet, natural taste of coconut should be there. No extraneous matters like coconut shell, testa starch or added sugars should be there. It's available in 3 grades, fine, medium and coarse, depending upon the particle size, and used in various kinds of goods. Moisture should not be more than 3% and fat percent should be 65. Fat acidity should be 0.3 maximum as the lauric acid. Other ingredient used is corn flour. Corn flour is also known as maize flour, and this is the starch which is obtained from maize. It should not contain added sweetening, flavoring, coloring agent or any foreign matter. It should be free from dirt, insects, impurities and acidity. Not more than 2% by mass of the material shall be retained on 75 micron IS sieve, and not more than 0.5% by mass retained on 150 micron sieve. It should not contain more than 12.5% moisture, and the total ash should be about 0.5% by mass. Similarly, acid insoluble ash percent by mass should not exceed 0.1. Then other important ingredient is glucose, liquid glucose. This is extensively used in case of confectionery items and biscuits, food catering industries manufactured by acid hydrolysis of starch. Liquid glucose or glucose syrup means a refined and concentrated non-crystallizable aqueous solution of D-glucose, maltose and other polymers of D-glucose. There are certain grades and dextrose equivalents. For example, low conversion, its dextrose equivalent should be 28 to 37. Regular conversion, it should have 38 to 47 DE dextrose equivalent. High conversion should have 58 to 67. Extra high conversion should have more than 68 DE. The total solids percent by mass in the sucrose or cane sugar should be 80. Acid percent by mass should be 0.3. pH of liquid glucose should be between 4.8 to 5.5. Sulfur dioxide in ppm, it should not exceed 400. Similarly, arsenic in ppm, it should not be more than 1. Copper maximum ppm should be 5. Lead maximum ppm should not be more than 2. These are some of the important standards I have told you. Then milk powder. Many times we add milk powder, dry milk powder in the confectionery items. Powder means which has been obtained from milk, which is dried either by roller drying process or the spray drying process. Milk powder should be white or white with greenish tinge or light cream in color. It should be free from lumps or caking, practically free from any kind of scorched particles. Whole milk or standardized milk obtained from cow or buffalo, or a mixture dried either by roller drying or spray drying, is called whole milk powder. Skim milk powder prepared by roller drying or spray drying of fresh milk of cow or buffalo, or a mixture of the two from which fat has been substantially removed. But whole milk powder contains fat. Flavor and odor of the milk powder should be good. Moisture should not exceed 4% by weight. Total milk solids should be 96% by weight minimum. Solubility index should be 15.0 RD. Similarly, solubility percent weight minimum, it should be 85 RD. Total fat should be 7.3% by weight maximum. Fat less than 2.6% by weight. Titrable acidity, it should be 1.2% by weight. Bacterial count per gram maximum, it should be 50,000. Coliforms, which are pathogenic bacteria, they should not be more than 90 gram maximum. Then we also use baking powder in bakery and confectionery. They are used as chemical leaveners or to raise the dough. Sodium bicarbonate, edible starch, acid reacting components, they are the main ingredients of baking powder. Baking powder should be free flowing, whitish in color, and free from any kind of off odor. Available carbon dioxide should be 12% by mass minimum. Arsenic in milligrams per kg, maximum it should be 1.1. Heavy metals, they should not be more than 10 milligram per kg maximum. Sometimes we use cocoa powder in chocolate cakes, and cocoa powder is the material which is obtained by mechanical transformation into the powder of cocoa press cake, resulting from partial removal of fat from the ground nib of sound and wholesome roasted beans of the cocoa. Cocoa should be free flowing powder having color and flavor particular to the cocoa. Particle size should not be less than 98%, which can pass through 150 micron ISC. Moisture of cocoa should not exceed 7% by mass maximum. Cocoa butter. For breakfast cocoa powder, it should be 20% by mass. For low fat cocoa powder, cocoa butter should be 10% by mass. Total ash content should be 0.20% by mass. Alkalinity of total ash SK2O 5.5. Crude fiber should be 7.0% by mass. These are some of the quality standards given by PFA, and any sample which is drawn from the bakery and analyzed, if the values are less than that or more than the recommended values, they are called as adulterations. Therefore, baker, to have good results of his bakery products, should try to select raw materials of prescribed standards so that he can give satisfaction to his customers by providing superior quality of bakery goods. Thank you very much.